Everybody else trying to come down.
Come on there.
That's good. Okay, we had a beautiful weekend, man. Really enjoyed ourselves. Just the fellowship and the unity down there was just amazing. The relationships, the best way I can describe it is like it's family. It just felt like we all been knowing each other for years. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so proud of the Augusta group because everything we did, y'all just came down there ready. Like whatever you need us to do, let's get it done. Let's get it done because we ran into some problems, ran into some situations, but we was able to get those things rectified, get it done, and make it a great gathering. Make it a great gathering overall. But I just enjoyed myself. Anybody else want to express before I go into some other things?
I will.
Go ahead, bro.
No, nobody got it.
Come on up, Lady T.
Get it.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Just wanted to say that we had a great time in Selma. It was a great opportunity for us to spend time as a family. I think we can all agree that we had a wonderful time with fellowship. I think we also had a wonderful time with praise and worship.
Oh, yeah.
Courtesy of the maestro here himself. But I just want to say that it was a celebratory feeling to be around so many people with like minds and spirits that have some of the same concerns, some of the same goals, some of the same aspirations for us to come together and finally start acting like we are one people. So I guess I could go on, but I won't take up too much time because I know our time is limited for today. But to everyone who was in attendance, I'm glad y'all provided safe travels back to your respective destinations, and may He continue to watch over us and protect us.
Awesome. Anybody else? Want to come on up and express? Come on up, Sister Donna. Come on up. Where it is, Tate? It's going to be all right. Come on, sister. You all right?
Shalom, family.
Shalom.
Y'all know I'm nervous. I'm not one to get up and speak or be on the front, but I tell you, I enjoyed myself thoroughly. I have never experienced anything like it. I couldn't explain it to some of my Israelite sisters that's not woke. What I experienced, though they did ask me, and I explained on the not trumpet, but whatever that guy played, how it affected me emotionally, how it stirred me while he was playing. The praise was the best I had ever heard in my entire life. I don't think it could be captured on a tape like it was because we was in the midst. So to tell somebody how good it was, you had to just be there to experience it. I was scared about going because, like y'all had, I had anxiety every night, but my heart wanted to be there, and I was welcomed with open arms by people who made me feel like family, spot on, first time meeting them. That was the deal breaker right there, because once I seen that there was love, and there was not going to be any of that, just being mistreated or whatever, I could let go and let the Most High move. It just stirred my soul. And Brother Morris up there, he was dancing, and I was trying to get in on it. I was not ashamed to because I was there to serve my God, my Creator. And I just try to keep my heart. Don't worry about who's looking at you. Don't worry about what people are saying. Don't worry about people's thinking. And they wasn't. They was trying to get something for themselves. So I enjoyed myself, and I could actually talk a whole hour about Passover. It was that good, and I appreciate all that was done behind the scenes that I know nobody probably will ever know what went on behind the scenes to make it happen, but I appreciate it, and so much, and I'm glad it was my first Passover, and I know it won't be my last.
Awesome. Glad you had an awesome time. Hallelujah. Sister Donna was afraid to go down there. We felt out, you coming, sister. You got nothing to worry about. You know, the people that follow us know how we teach, know what we teach. So, you know, they don't know we don't teach no separatism like that in that type of sense. The scripture says that everybody that's circumcised in spirit and circumcised in heart have an opportunity to come to the Passover. Nobody is excluded. So we got to do things by the scripture way. If the scripture and our ancestors and their righteousness did things, then we should follow that. All right? You want to come up, Brother Scott? Come on up, brother. Y'all give Brother Scott a clap.
Morris is dirty for that. But I had a good time. Myself, I was hesitant about going because I had a difficulty with a crowd of people around. But I had a great time seeing the family together. I guess I'll say it's I haven't been to a lot of places where we gather and there ain't no fight, no argument.
You know that's right.
Not like that. The Passover celebration was peaceful all the way around. Everybody was at peace with everybody. And that made it probably like most of the people. The songs too. I've been singing a little loud. I want to shout a little louder than before.
Oh yeah, freedom.
Man, I've been singing that every since. I walked through the grocery store whistling freedom. So yeah, I enjoyed myself.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Anybody else? Sister Kim is surprised because I didn't think she was coming and she showed up. I had to look double time like, what is that? And I didn't want to look too long, you know, give people wrong impression. I'm like, I can't get it. But anybody else want to get up and say something about how to deal with the time they have? We're going to get Kim and Em over to come say something.
See that? See? Let's clap for them. Come on, let's
Clap
clap.
it up.
Clap for me. You gonna get a clap.
Come on, Kim. We want you.
Amazing time. I loved it.
Oh, it was so beautiful. I'm still on a high. I could not tell the last time I felt the way I felt. And like my sister said, it was so comforting to see people that are the same mind and we felt so welcome as though we all knew each other. It was beautiful. Looking forward to the next one.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. You want to come on up? Oh, it's right here. But yeah, we had an awesome time. Like I was saying, I'm still trying to come down from the high. I'm still looking at the videos and just reminiscing. And we already working on next year, trying to get that plan.
When they gonna be uploaded?
What's that?
The videos.
Well, this is the thing. We had everything taken care of, but we forgot to get a videographer to record the whole thing. Our people recorded it on their phones, so we got that uploaded. But I'm gonna upload the stuff that people have on their phones probably tomorrow on YouTube. But and then we had the cameras down there. We just got so busy that we couldn't set up and get it done. So, but two people was able. Sister Chief, Sister Taronda, she recorded every service all the way through on her live recording. So hers is good. And Brother Yah on his live recording. But I'm gonna upload it up to the YouTube page so everybody can have visibility to be able y'all not, are y'all done praying? She went down there and tore it up down there. So we just talked about Passover, and everybody come up and just express how good of a time they had. You had something, brother?
I especially want to express my gratitude for the baptism of my children and myself.
Awesome.
Special.
Yes. Yes, the baptism was awesome. You know how we do. We've been all year telling people to register. Let us know if you're going to get baptized. Send us some information so we can have a head count. Only one person. Go ahead and cut that off. Only one person. So we get down there. We had trouble with the actual place we were supposed to do it, because the hotel, they picked that week. Now, we've been talking to the hotel since January. They picked the week of Passover to do renovation to the pool. So we called them too, so they said, well, you might can't use the pool because we got to do renovation. So me and the secretary looking crazy, we upset. So they was like, well, let's look at the Family Y across the street. So we went to the Family Y, but the Most High, y'all, he always working a purpose and something. So when I went over there to represent, to look at everything, to talk to the management, a young brother over there, he was looking at and listening to what I was saying about the baptism. And he looked at me when I was trying to walk out, he said, man, you know what? I truly desire to be baptized. He said, man, if you can fit me into y'all group, that'll be awesome. And man, I just looked at, that's the reason the Most High shut them hotels down. Because there was one brother that was at the Family Y that he had Kentucky on his heart that wanted to get immersed, man. So it was just a beautiful thing. But man, when we got to, because I told everybody to meet in the lobby at the Hampton Inn, man, we got down there. You talking about 30 people down there ready to get baptized. Ain't none of them registered. But they all down there ready, man.
That's us.
All the way.
They all down there ready. So, we took them in, and it was just beautiful to see so many families going down together, husband and wife going down together. So many people, just really ready to rededicate their lives, man, and start off with immersions. And it was just a beautiful thing. We really, really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. But that is definitely still trying to calm down from that. And I tell you, man, I guess it started getting a little older, because usually I can pop back like that. I've been tired all week, man. I got to get myself together. All right. But, all in all, it was great. We had a beautiful time. Like I said, we started on planning, but we do have the Feast of Tabernacles that's going to be in Destin, Florida. For those that want to make that, you have from now until October to register and get all your information in. They got a place where it's going to be secluded, just us, ain't nobody else going to be able to come out there. We're going to have about 200 spots for people to put their tents and stuff up. We're going to have a bathroom area to take showers, a kitchen area, all that type of stuff will be down there. And also those that don't want to ain't ready for that staying in a tent life yet, and there's a hotel nearby, they might just want to be part of the festivities throughout the day. But man, look, this gonna be me and my family first time as far as we're gonna try to do the overnight, in the tent, just have a good time, and we're gonna act up out there. So we already ready. I hate it we didn't get an opportunity to dance at Passover, because it got too late. We need to get on out of there. So, but it was good. Rabbi Quinte was awesome. He was just really impressed with the hospitality, with everybody that was there. He had a great time. He just looking to do something again. I told him, man, just be ready. Be ready on Passover, because I think it's best for us to get our brothers from West Africa that never lost their identity, never lost their culture, to come speak to us on feast days. I think that's important. Somebody got the mic that shouldn't have the mic?
Gee, turn it off.
Same.
Yeah, take that one of the adults back there getting the mic there. You gotta just pass it on back there. That's what you sure don't get it. But just want to talk about some things too. Like I say, I'm proud of the Augusta group, how we all band together and just got together and made things happen. I don't want to, right off the bat, start pushing too hard right now. And I just say right now, because really, if we wanted to, we can blow up stuff like that. But I want to slow down and get a common unity amongst the family first, before we just be snatching people in. Because I want to make, we have such an intimate relationship with each other that we know each other. So I'm saying, you bring too many people in too fast, then everybody don't know each other, misunderstandings, folks fuss and folks upset. Because why? You didn't take the time to get to know each other. So the Most High, he's just adding. I'm allowing him to do his thing. He's just adding as needs be. But there will be a time where we completely roll out our evangelism strategy. And it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice the way we got it, where we're going to roll it out. Not saying that we're going to be on the street corner in some garments.
Purple gold garments.
Sign me up.
Holiday Jacob. No, we ain't gonna do it like that. We got another way that we gonna do it. I'm telling you, crazy. But other than that, anybody got any questions or concerns or anything they would like to see done in it? I know Sister Monica was asking me about do we do as far as inviting people to join. But it's just been happening, man. People just become a part, and their heart get attached, and it's just been good like that. So we'll just see. We'll see what the Most High do. Anybody got any questions or concerns or anything that they would desire to see us to do?
Can I just ask a question about the destiny?
Okay, go ahead.
The hotels, like where can we find that information?
I'll get you in touch with the sister that's over there. Because I think she got a list of the hotels that's by. So we'll get you that information. Anybody else?
Can we get praise and worship on the CD? The praise and worship song.
The quality ain't gonna be the best. It ain't because we did it on the phone. But I'm gonna see what I can do. I'm gonna see if I can get it tweaked, and put it on the CD. Yeah, I've been riding in my car listening to it, just playing it over and over. Because it was just awesome. The thing was, there was such unity. Ain't none of us practiced. Nobody up there practiced together. Nobody. That was the first night we all was together. And it was just, the harmony, everything was just amazing. Just amazing.
And the children. All the children was there too.
That's right. The children was worshiping. That little girl stole the show. I gave her the microphone, and she just like, she ain't crouched back or nothing. She like snatched it out my hand. I was like, look at that. So it was awesome all the way around, man. We just had, I'm still in awe. Just had a beautiful time. But like I said, we're not going to hold you long. We're going to go ahead and get into this lesson. Y'all ready?
Hallelujah.
I said we're going to go and get into this lesson. Y'all ready?
Yeah!
All right. Let me go ahead and hit record. Shalom, family. Find a seat. That came just in time. Everything going good back there with the live? We all right? All right. Okay, so now it'll be great because this message is kind of going to go along with what Josh taught this past weekend. Josh taught a great lesson on the cry of Israel. He broke down Joel 3, man, like I ain't never heard it. He had a great breakdown of that. So it's going to kind of coincide somewhat with that message. Make sure we record. And I started on it a little bit when I was down there in Selma, but like I said, I had to leave. So we're going to speak on Yah's vengeance of the nations. What time do you think we're living in?
End time.
Time period. End time? Anybody else? Let's get the mics. Pass the mic now. End time. All right, somebody said end time.
Jacob's trouble
Jacob's trouble. Are we waiting on it or is it here?
is here.
How long has it been here? We're going to get on that today.
For a long time.
Okay. I got a good group here. Anybody else want to talk about The time that we living in.
End of the Gentiles.
The time of what?
End of the Gentiles.
End of the Gentiles time. That's important to know. All right, so Yah's vengeance of the nations. This ain't your whooping.
All right.
I'm going to say that again. This ain't your whooping. Why would I say that?
It's not our time of judgment.
It ain't our time of judgment because we're living in a time of what? Of judgment. Now the nation of Israel been getting whooping ever since they did what?
Broke that covenant.
Broke the covenant. They've been getting the whooping, right? You ever been at the house of some of your older brothers? I know y'all nice with your grandbabies, so you probably don't tell your grandbabies this. But your children's, and you look at them and say, I'm going to whoop one of y'all. Everybody get afraid at that time. Like, oh, goodness, because your life in danger right now. Everybody trying to figure out who's going to get the whooping. And you get to the house, and you find out it's your brother. You go, oh, baby, you feel good. You feel sorry for him, but that ain't your behind getting whooped. So you feel good. So this is the same type of concept that we are in because there's a lot of things that are happening globally and a lot of things are shifting right now. And the Most High is getting things set up because it's been seeming like we've been the ones that have been getting that spanking. And those that connected to us been getting spanking by extension. You see what I'm saying? So we have to understand that this is a time where we shouldn't be afraid. This is a time that we shouldn't be afraid at all. Actually, we should be excited because what? Our redemption is what?
Drawing nigh.
Drawing nigh. Because it's a time of vengeance, and at the same time that it's a time of vengeance for one people, there's a time of the acceptable year of the Lord where he's accepting you now. Because before he did what? Rejected you and what? Turned his back on you because you broke the covenant and consistently did. But now we are in a time of returning, and the people that he rejected, now he's doing what? Accepting it. How we know we've been accepted now?
He pouring out the Spirit.
Let's get these mics. Let's get these mics. Let's get these mics. How do we know that right now we've been accepted? The next person, go ahead and grab the mic. We're getting ready after him.
The Most High is pouring out the Spirit as well as waking up the children of Israel.
That's right. That's right. So pouring out his Spirit is in concert with his what? His children doing what?
Waking up.
Waking up. So we're seeing that it's a time that he's accepted us now because what? We're turning back to him. My people that are what? Called by my name, if they would what? Humble themselves. If they would what? Humble themselves. So that's the time that we're living in. Of humbling themselves. So how else we know we've been accepted now?
Well, I guess go along with what he said. I was going to say we know our names now. We know who we are, identifying ourselves with the curses. And then what's happening in the other kingdoms of the world with war and the prophecies.
That's right.
Something like that.
All those type of things going on. Let's go real quick. This ain't on the list. Let's go to Isaiah 45. I think it's 45. See the 45 to 44. And he's talking about he's going to be going to the spirit. And somebody get there, read it, because I know if it's there when I hear it. Now after this, we're gonna run. We're gonna run through it. Isaiah 45. When anybody get it, they got a mic. Or they can pass the mic. Go ahead and start reading.
45 and 1?
Yeah. Let's see what it says. I'll let you know what that says.
Thus saith the Most High to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have holden, to subdue nations before him. And I will loose the loins of kings, to open before him the two-leaved gates, and the gates shall not be shut.
That ain't it. Go to 44.
Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant.
That's the one I want. All right, let's listen, y'all. Watch what's happening.
Yet now Now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. Thus saith the Most High that made thee and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant.
Fear not.
And thou Yeshua, whom I have chosen. For I will pour water upon him that is thirsty.
So, we living in a time now of those that are in Jacob that are thirsty. What is happening? Water is been, that's why such a hunger in us now. Because water is getting poured out. That's why we can't stop studying one thing before the next thing comes. And then you get on that, then something else comes. And then you get on that, then something else comes. And you don't know what to study. Because everything, because what? Water is being poured out right now. Let's keep going.
For I will pour water upon him that is thirsty and floods upon the dry ground. I will pour my spirit upon thy seed and my blessing upon thine offspring.
So he said, I'm not going to pour my spirit upon the fathers. I'm going to pour my spirit upon what? The seed. Now, who is the seed?
That be we.
Children.
The children. That be what? Us and what? This time. Right? We thirsty. Water's been poured out, and what? His ruach, which is his spirit, has been poured down on us also too. Because what is his spirit doing? It's leading and guiding us into all truth. All right, keep going.
And they shall spring up as among the grass.
Look at what's happening. All over the world, we can spring up, spring up, spring up, spring up. Now you can go to the gas station and you walk by somebody. You might see some fringes. You might see a brother say shalom. You weren't seeing that before. But now everybody is springing up everywhere. Keep going.
As willows by the watercourses. One shall say, I am the Most High.
All right, so what that mean? That mean he didn't know? Because it said when all this started happening, when the water started pouring, and those that are thirsty, and I pour my spirit out, it's going to make this seed say, I am the Most High. Lets you know that what? They didn't know that. Right? Is that what's happening now?
Yes, sir.
Are we living in that time?
Absolutely.
Keep going.
And another shall call himself by the name of Jacob.
So somebody changing their name now. You see how these Israelites changing their name stuff? So they calling themselves by what? The family of Jacob. Not saying you have to. There's something you have to be led into. Service announcement. While we on there. But now on, everybody. Quinte did a beautiful teaching on names. I'm Brother Tekoa Malachi. Brother Tekoa Malachi. Brother Tekoa. Say everybody say, hey, Brother Tekoa Malachi.
Hey, Brother Tekoa Malachi.
See, that's why I meant, because I want to be what? Called into my purpose when you call my name. It's a calling. So every time you speak it, you're lining me up in what I'm supposed to be doing in my spirit first. That's how powerful a name is. All right, keep going. I just wanted to service announcement.
All right. And another shall subscribe with his hand unto the Most High.
So some people going to change their name, but then some people going to go on paper and change it. Not saying you got to do that. Don't get scared with me now. Don't get scared. But there's some spiritual stuff behind that, but we ain't going to go there. Keep going.
And surname himself by the name of Israel.
So he's going to be changing his name, going on paper, doing it, and then surnaming himself. What else you got?
Thus saith the Most High, the King of Israel, and his Redeemer, the Most High of hosts. I am the first and I am the last, and besides me there is no Elohim.
All right, that's good. That's good. We stop right there. So I'm just letting you know the time period of this thirstiness of what's going on. Now, in this awakening, you have to be led by the Spirit. So just when you think you wake up, and you be like, oh no, I woke up a little bit with these folks over here crazy. So then you got to study a little more, and you find out, okay, what they were saying ain't right either. So I got to keep going. So you've been led into all truth. You see what I'm saying? Your first initial truth, even though it gets you excited, might not be the same thinking pattern that as you begin to grow spiritually. You see what I'm saying? All right, so let's get to moving now. So we living in a time of vengeance, right? Now, is the Most High righteous?
All the time.
All what?
All the time.
Is he a righteous judge?
All the time.
If he's a righteous judge, can he let the nations get away with what they done?
No.
Nope.
And we believe in you reap what you sow.
They got to pay.
You got to.
Get rid of
America has to pay. If the Most High is righteous, if he don't get America, he got to dig back up Sodom and Gomorrah.
That's true.
So if he's righteous, even though we see all this crazy stuff happening, understand that he judges righteously. And he knows. Because sometimes the Most High, he allows your iniquity to get full. Because it's a certain type of judgment he wants you to have.
Come on, man.
So we don't like that God right there. Here's a certain judgment he wants to give you. So he's going to let you keep doing it and keep doing it until your iniquity get full, so he can bring his full wrath on you. Y'all don't know that God right there? That's the one that's in this Bible. Play around with him if you want to.
I'm familiar with his work.
So watch this. Psalms 50 and 6, just listen. And the heavens declare his righteousness, for the Most High himself is a judge. He's a judge. Psalm 6, 76, 8. Y'all give a hand clap. Our sister came in. She met us in Selma. So she wanted to come be a part of the fellowship, what we doing. Psalm 76, 8 and 9. Ye caused judgment to be heard from heaven, the earth feared and was still when the Most High rose to judgment to save all the humble at the earth. I'm going to ask you this. When the Most High judging the earth, will you get caught up in your judgment if you humble and righteous? Nope. No. If you've been walking in righteousness, think about it. Did the Israelites in Egypt get taken away with what he was doing to the Egyptians? Did Abraham and Lot get taken away when he came in to destroy the city? What was that? Sodom and Gomorrah he was throwing in, that Lot was in? Didn't he go and warn the righteous and tell them to come out?
He sure did.
Then Abraham went to go seek 10 righteous people. So this is why don't be afraid when you hear rumors of war. Because what? This ain't your whoop. This for the nations. This ain't got nothing to do with you if you've been walking uprightly. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Daniel 7, 9, and 10. I kept looking until the thrones were set up, and the Ancient of Days took his seat. His vesture was like white as snow, and his hair of his head was like the pure what?
Wool.
So somebody up there got some what kind of hair? That's what the scripture say. Like the pure wool, and his throne was ablaze with flames. Can you imagine? Now, when you really start going in the Bible and looking what's in the heavenlies, you'll be like, man, there's some sci-fi stuff here. I'm talking about for real. You got beings that got a lion head, they got an ox in the back of his head, got a human on the side of his head, and then, got all kind of stuff. There's some stuff that make you be like, oh my goodness. Wait, I'm going to ask you this. What do you think? Nothing is just developed within itself. All these stuff, even movies and different things like that, all those things are developed off something they didn't see. Yeah, I'm getting crazy now. Y'all looking at me crazy. All this stuff that you see on sci-fi movies, that you see monsters, all these type of things is based off something that didn't been here. That's what, it didn't just come out of their imagination. Because your imagination is built off what you didn't experience. Try to imagine something you didn't experience.
You can't.
You can't. So the things that we see is stuff that's hidden from us to a certain time. Well, let me get off there.
No, you're doing all right. You're doing all right.
I don't want to scare nobody.
We right here.
But understand, this ain't your whooping because there's something in you waiting to get unlocked. It's going to be a coming war and different things that happen that you're going to have confidence within yourself. That's why what Scripture says, you have this treasure in earthen vessel. Something about your awakening, it ain't just waking up to New Israel, there's something that's going to unlock in you. That's going to scare the nations. Because the Most High has to vindicate his people here.
That's right. That's right.
He cannot judge the nation, but don't vindicate his people. The nations have to see who they have been chastising are the children of the Most High. And he has to show them that. Right?
Right.
That's
right.
So let's go back to Daniel. No, just look at this now. We're talking about the Ancient of Days. I'm going to read it slow. He took his seat. His vesture was like white snow. His head like a pure wool. His throne was ablaze with flames. All right, the throne, then its wheels were burning with fire. A river of fire was flowing and coming out from before him. So, y'all look at this. This is something you can't really imagine. Thousand upon thousand were attending him. The myriads upon the myriads were standing before him. The court sat and the books were open. That's why the Most High knows every detail that was done. And he's been writing it down. Because it's going to be a payday. It's going to be a time of his vengeance. Don't never think anybody got away from what they have done. Don't think you get away. I'm talking about in your personal life. Don't think you get away, because he watches. But I'm talking about when it comes to repay the nation, that's why the scripture says that the Most High, he looked at the wicked and laughed. Because what? He see their day of calamity is coming. Y'all follow?
Yes.
So we're not, we get excited because we know our God don't play. And if we see stuff that's injustices and stuff that have been done wrong in this nation, and I'm just dealing with this nation because this is the nation we grew up in. I know our people been getting hurt and stuff all over the world, but I can deal with America because we didn't experience it. Right or wrong? All right, y'all don't be scared today now. Y'all all right. We talking about the Most High vengeance. Come on. Y'all act like y'all finna get another whooping. Y'all all right. Psalms 91, let's talk about his vengeance. So we talked about he's a righteous judge. He writes things in the book. He paid attention. He detailed to the stuff that he's doing so he can repay you back righteously. Let's talk about his vengeance. Psalms 94. O Yah, to whom vengeance belongs, our Elohim, whose vengeance belongs, show thyself. Lift up thyself, thou, and judge the earth, and render a reward to the proud. Isaiah 35:4. Encourage the exhausted, and strengthen the feeble. Say to those of anxious heart, y'all take courage and fear not. Behold, your God will come with what? Vengeance. The recompense of God will come. But he will do what? Save you. We're seeing that.
Yep.
He coming now. He's telling you, don't be encouraged. Don't be afraid. Because again, this ain't your weapon. I'm coming to tap these nations, but I'm going to do what? I'm going to save you because you've been the apple of my eye. And I've been seeing everything you've been going through. And it looked like I had my back turned. It looked well, I did. I turned my back because of your wickedness. But the seed has what returned to me now. So now I'm preparing my people as they begin to awaken to themselves. I'm getting them prepared for what I'm going to do. All right? Nahum. I know we don't like to go there all day. Nahum. 1 and 2. A jealous and avenging Elohim is our Yahuwah. Yahuwah is an avenging and wrathful. Yahuwah would take vengeance on his adversaries. He will reserve wrath for his enemies. The Most High is slow to anger and great in power, and will by no means leave the what? Guilty unpunished. Deuteronomy 32 and 35. Vengeance is mine, and retribution. In due time their foot will slip, for the day of their calamity is near, and the impending things are hastening upon them. For the Most High will do what? The Most High will vindicate his people. What vindicate means? He's going to prove his people that they are his. He's going to vindicate his people, and the vindication is going to be what? The judgment of the nation. And I will have compassion on my servants. Psalms 37:13. The Most High is laughing at those who plot. See, I know we get mad. I know we get upset because we see these things happening. But it says the Most High is laughing at those that plot against the godly, for he knows their day of judgment is coming. So this is nothing for you to get afraid about. All these wars with Korea and Russia, let it happen. Come on. Let's get it going. Because I'm ready to go. Yes, sir. Redemption is near. All right. So we see, now we're going to look at, I'm going to give y'all some. Watch this. When he's taking his vengeance out on us, that gives the nations the upper hand.
That's right.
I'll say that again. When he takes his vengeance out on us, and the other nations that's ruling, I'm talking about global leaders, they understand this. This is why in each of the most powerful nations that was built, they had to go get your seat. Because they know that by you being into captivity meant that they was going to be able to be ushered into their type of rulership that they wanted. And as long as they can keep you in that captivity mind, they can have rulership. That's why your awakening is such a threat to their kingdom.
Okay.
That's why they have to kill you. It ain't about your skin color. At all. That's just a farce. But they got to kill you by what's prophesied about you. Because if you come into what? Your glory, that means the destruction of their kingdom.
Yep.
So systematically, they have to set up systems. That's why the justice system ain't broke. It's working like it's supposed to. Quit getting mad. Because it ain't made to do right for you. It's not. Y'all don't believe it.
Who don't believe it?
Y'all think it's good? Do y'all think it's good?
Nah.
Okay. Y'all gonna be living somewhere else. But it's not broke because we got to look at an inception of when it was created and what it was created for.
Come on.
You understand what I'm saying? But when the Most High is taking his vengeance out on us for breaking the covenant, the other nations are in their glory and can rule and oppress without having to worry about the Most High striking them down. Think about it. Do you think they worry right now? And a little bit they're getting worried now that we're waking up. But look at how they can do stuff and they have no regard for the Most High. And he's the God of all the earth, and they can push wickedness, killing, destroying everything. Because what? They know if they can keep you in captivity because you're in your whooping, they ain't got nothing to worry about. And they know that's a time period. But when they begin, that's why it's getting crazy now. This is why they are creating laws against people that are called black identity extremists now. What does that have to do with anything? How can the CIA, FBI pay attention to black extremists when you look at throughout the books and then the white nationalists that have been terrorizing people from the beginning, ever since the inception of this nation? And nothing said about that. Y'all all right?
That's the pain.
That's right. So Daniel 9 and 11. Let's look at when we got whooped, and then we finish switching and let you see what's going on now. We all right? Everybody following me?
Tracking.
Okay. Daniel 9. Daniel 9 and 11. Yea, all of Israel have transgressed thy law, even by the departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is what? Poured upon us. And the oath that is written in the law of Moses. So when the curse is upon us, who is in their blessing?
The nations.
I'm going to say that again, but y'all can see. When the curse is upon us, who is in their blessing?
The nations.
See, I'm going to show you why. Watch this. The global elitists, they are what? The head and not the tail. Right?
Right.
They are above only,
and not beneath.
Correct.
Correct? They blessed when they go in. They blessed when they go out. Their storehouse is bountiful. Bountiful. Because what? When these people are in their curse, it allows these other nations to rule in unrighteousness without regard for the Most High until a certain time period. This is why they're doing all they can right now to stop this awakening, because they knew that we are the time. Do you not know that they're watching us?
Yes.
That we are the time clock to their rulership. This is why they're doing everything they can to destroy this thing.
Suppress.
You understand what I'm saying? And trying to suppress it, because what? They don't want to give up their rulership. Because when we are getting the vengeance of the Most High, they are able to rule. But when we be accepted, then vengeance coming on them. But the thing is, they done got so arrogant now that they don't think that the Most High gonna get them. They done got so proud that they think this is their own strength that all this is coming from. This is their own power. Not realizing it's the Most High allowing a foolish nation to reign and rule. And even in that, he's working his purpose. Because he's teaching what? He's teaching you how to depend on him, how to trust him, how to believe in him. Because the only way that you can learn that is through trouble. This is why he must give you tribulations. You can't learn the Most High without going through something. You can't cherish him without going through something. You don't know that he's a healer without going through something. You don't know that he can sustain you if he don't take some sustainability away. This is why we done got used to living in tribulations and other people jumping off buildings now. We've been trying to make 2 nickels, add them up, and make some food go for a whole week. Other folks can't handle that. But what? He got you used to being in tight situations. So you can survive through this period, and get ready for the second Exodus.
That's right.
Y'all following me? Go ahead, brother.
So it's like what you said about letting your sins and wickedness get to a point where he got to bring his full wrath out by letting them do all the things to a certain extent so he can,
Yes, sir. But this is why his judgment going to be so, it's going to be so just. Think about how wicked this nation is getting now. That they done went from homosexuality, legalizing that, abortion, legalizing. Now you got, let me tell you what you got now.
Legalizing murder.
Legalizing murder. I wasn't going to say that, but that's right.
Get them.
Now you got where they're trying to legalize pedophilia.
Yeah.
They marching. They want it legalized. They can say they born like that. Yeah, same thing they doing with animals now.
Yeah.
Somebody want to marry a fight over best of the cow. Go ahead, mother. Give mother Mike.
Yes. Believe.
Scripture that comes to mind is because sentence against the evil one is not execute the spirit.
That's right. Their hearts can give themselves to the sin. But let me tell you something about sin, my personal experience. The first time you do it, or whatever you struggle with, boy, your little heart be tore up. Oh God, I done messed up. I done did this. But each time it begins to get easier and easier. Before you know it, you have no godly sorrow about it. Then you make excuse about it. Then it's okay.
Yes.
Then some of us use this excuse. Well, we in the land of our captivity, and it say all I'm saying is gonna be behind us. So I can do a little bit now, right now. Yes, I ain't gonna miss the boat. I got grace. Yeah, I got grace. Go ahead.
That's why he say the heart is wicked above all things. Who can know it?
Yeah, it's deceitful.
See,
because it'll deceive you. You'll think you're right when you're wrong, and you're really convinced. You ever really dealt with somebody that really thought they was right, and you like, man, bro, come on, bro. That ain't right. No, man, I'm good. No, you ain't good. That's wrong. But no, man, that ain't wrong. You know what? Go ahead. But I tell you one time I got so frustrated out there at the place where I make a living, boy. I had said, all y'all go to hell. I ain't talking to not another soul. For real. I'm frustrated. All y'all can go to hell, all y'all. Because, it just, people weren't trying to do right. Now, I was young at the time. I'm thinking, the time you talk to somebody, they're going to be like, well, what must I do to be saved and follow the Messiah? And I wasn't getting there. And I was like, oh, you know what? Go ahead. All right, let's keep going. So Luke 21, watch this. And when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with army, this is the Messiah, Yahushua was talking. Then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them that's in the midst of the mountain depart out, and let them that are not in the countries enter therein too. Watch this. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things that are written may be fulfilled. So what's written? What is he talking about? What vengeance is he talking about?
Prophecies.
Prophecies about what?
Judgment.
Judgment on who?
The nations.
No. Read that.
Oh, you talking about that right there? That's
Luke 21.
That's when he was telling us to flee.
Tell us flee.
Because Jerusalem is going to be destroyed.
Because these are the days of what?
Vengeance.
Vengeance. So what is he talking about? Who is he venging? Because the Romans was coming in, wasn't nobody coming after them. So he ain't venging them. He ain't bringing no recompense on them right then. All things that was written may be fulfilled. So who's getting the whooping right here? The Israelites. Because when we break the covenant, it brings about his vengeance. That makes sense. So these that are days that all these things must be written fulfilled, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captive into all nations. So why? I'm telling you. So when the Israelites were being judged, watch how the nations rule. Watch this. So when we have been led into captivity into all nations, Jerusalem would have been trodden down for Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. They will rule and control Jerusalem. A people going into captivity because of the vengeance, and other people able to rule with no regard. Are we seeing that?
Yes.
All right. I got to move fast on this. All right. So watch this. Joel 3. I'm going to read all of this for time's sake. Joel 3. For behold, watch this. So we looked at these people going through their vengeance. Now, it's been a switch. Everybody say switch. It's been a switch. It's been a reset. What was on the bottom? Then it comes to the top. Watch this now. For behold the days. For behold, in those days, and in that time, when I shall bring about the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. What does bring about the captivity mean?
Bring them back.
Bring them back from captivity. First, where does that have to start first, though? Before there's a physical release, there has to be a what? Spiritual. All right, verse 2. At the same time that we are waking up, this is why you are very significant. Think about the time period we waking up, the nation's going crazy with each other. Warring, fussing, getting ready to fight, missiles, all this type of stuff happening. Right?
South Korea about to line back up.
Yeah, they lining back up, getting that pack together. There's some things happening, and it's happening around who? Your what? Awakening. According to Joel, we seeing what Joel said, right?
Yes.
He said, I will gather all the nations. What nations? We'll go to Psalm 33. I will gather all the nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead for them, for my people. Is that pleading, begging?
No.
Like, please, get my people back. Read Isaiah 66 and tell you what pleading means. Because the Most High said, with by fire and a whirlwind will I plead for these people. All right, so watch this. For my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So what things are he mad about? See if y'all paying attention in this scripture. What is he mad about? His heritage. They done fooled with his heritage. And scattered his people.
And messed with his land.
And messed with his land. That's his yard. His house is there. And y'all fooling with my land. Don't let nobody tell you. That's why when people tell you, you ought to just forget the past and forget all that. Now, you forget the past when you did some real stupid stuff. You need to forget all that and quit acting like that. You know what I'm saying? Act like that's in the past. But when people tell you to forget the past when it comes to what happened over here, no. Well, the Most High ain't forget. He telling you right here. He said, y'all done fool with my heritage, y'all done fool with my people, and y'all done fool with my land consistently throughout generations. It's gonna go down. Is he mad?
He ain't happy.
So let's look at these nations that fool with his land, right? Psalms 83, keep not thy silence, O God, and hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God, for lo thy enemies make a turmoil, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and have consulted against thy hidden ones. So do you know it's people that are sitting behind the scenes, behind closed doors, having meetings about y'all? Ain't it amazing that the people that ain't got no power can't defend for themselves, that folks worry about it? Well, they take crafty counsel against our people and consulted against our hidden one. They say, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may not be in remembrance anymore. For they have consulted against them with one consent, and they have a confederate against them. So watch this. These nations, let me ask you something. Why would these nations think it's imperative to join together and make a confederate against the people of Israel? Why would they even think to do that?
Because they know that Israel's protection is the Most High. And they think in their little feeble minds that if they join together, then perhaps they can defeat the Most High, because we're just one people. So in their minds, if they join together, then they have an opportunity to potentially overcome.
There you go. That's exactly. You have something? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. The Most High was doing so much throughout the history with these little people. They said, we got to band together. We got to do something.
But they didn't realize it's not by even our own might that we were able to do what we were doing, because of our obedience and because of who Yah is and His might. But in their mind, in their little peon mind, then they think that they can stand a chance against the Most High.
Let me ask you something. What did they learn, though? What did they learn that they could do? They could keep a people in oppression. Think about Balaam.
Think about who?
Balaam. What happened?
If you curse
Balaam,
people, then the curse comes back on you.
That was horn.
Balaam taught Balak to cause for people to curse themselves.
There you go.
Okay.
So what's happening now is,
How would they curse themselves?
They cannot curse. We cannot.
How would they curse themselves?
by worshiping another Elohim. 2, by breaking the covenant or breaking commandments. Or 3, well, basically,
That's
I don't
it.
need to go to 3.
When the nations figured out that I can't curse them,
But
I
they
can't put a curse on them, but I can cause them to lust after the things that would cause a curse to come upon themselves.
Correct.
So if I can cause them to curse themselves by breaking the covenant, by following after our gods, I can have control over them. I ain't got to worry about fighting them now. Now you think about a whole system now that's set up to continuously have you break the covenant. Think about the songs in the music industry.
Yes.
All it glorifies is covenant breaking. They keep what? A consistent cycle of curses that come upon you continuously. That you fell in such love with breaking this thing that now you enjoy listening to it and don't realize it's causing your family demise. Think about the movie industry. Every movie.
Cartoon.
Well, movies, cartoons, the movies, different things. We have to be careful. Some movies is good. I'm gonna like to watch movies. I ain't scared of no movie now. But I learned to watch the doctrine in this movie.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
What is this seed that is trying to put in me?
Throw something
It's
in.
bringing my defenses down. You see what I'm saying? Because entertainment, I learned, is detainment for entry. So I got to detain you to have your senses. I got you captivated for 2 hours or so to put my seed in you. And that seed can cause you to break the covenant, to cause something to consider to come upon your image. Does that make sense?
It's in a smooth way.
In a smooth way. You don't even realize it's happening.
It is.
It's very crafty.
Yeah.
If you think about the whole, when you just made the analogy with the movies, under what other circumstance would you spend like 700 times more than you would typically do, like in popcorn? A bag of popcorn, real cost is about $0.25. Seriously.
Well,
When you go to the movies, it's like $17. Normally, your normal senses will be like, I'm not spending 5,000 times the amount of what this is. You go in a dark room. Under what circumstance would you go in a dark room with strangers and sit there for 2.5 hours after you paid $20 to be there? But it just makes us all just feel uncomfortable to do it.
Exactly. Because it's something they want to put in you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because if I can control what you can continuously see and continuously hear, you become.
That's it.
Whatever you continuously see, that's why you have control of your spiritual growth. You can control what you put in front of your eyes. That's why Psalms 101 says that I will be careful what I put before my eyes with what it will please to me.
It will.
So you can continuously become what you continuously see and what you continuously hear. I tell you, back in the day, I wasn't no bad kid. For a teenager. I was straight. I went to college, got wild out, got to get listen to the music, becoming there, hugging, got to fighting, jumping around in the club, acting crazy, doing crazy stuff. Because what? I was continuously hearing it, continuously seeing it, and I wanted to be accepted. That's a formula for disaster and for destruction. There you go. So watch all these nations that came together. Verse 5. The tabernacles of Edom, Ishmaelite, Moab, the Hagarenes, Gabal, Ammon, Amalek, the Philistines, Tyre, Asser. Verse 12, who said, let us take ourselves of the houses of Elohim. So did those nations stop at that point during that time? No. Then they grabbed in probably some more nations, right? All right, so we see that. So let's move real fast. So we see that these nations brought about a tribulation. Y'all following me? These nations brought a tribulation on who? Israel. So these nations brought forth a certain type of trouble called what? Called what? Jacob's trouble. So how can we be waiting on a future Jacob's trouble when it's been here since back then?
We're in it.
We're in it. It started back then, and the fullness of it was going from back then all the way to now. We're not waiting on no future Jacob's trouble. Because what? There's no prophecy to support it.
No.
Y'all hear me?
We got you.
We live in prophecy.
We're living in it right now.
That's it.
And our forefathers, they bear the brunt of it through what they went through, and we'll describe it in a minute. But get out your mind that another big tribulation is coming to you. Because you have been in your tribulation. Right? But now it's time for what? The nation's tribulation. That's why he said, if you keep the word of my patience, I will keep you from that hour when I come to do what? Try the rest of the world. During that time, we're going to be what? Walking where? In the wilderness, doing the second what? Exodus. Y'all going to stay here if you want to. Deuteronomy 4:27. Watch this. And the Most High said, will scatter you among the nations, and you shall be left few and alone among the heathen, and the Most High will lead you. And there you shall serve other gods, and work men's hand, wood and stone, which neither you see shall eat nor smell. But then from this you shall seek the Most High, and thou shalt find him, and thou shalt seek him with all thy heart and thy soul. Watch this. Watch what Moses says. When thou art in your tribulations, and all these things come upon you, even in the latter what?
Days.
Not then, but the latter days. If thou would turn to the Most High, and thou shalt be obedient for his voice, then the Most High will be merciful, and he will not forsake you. So Moses was talking about an end time tribulation. And end times ain't just our time. Even during Messiah's time, he was talking about that was end times. During Paul's time, he was talking about that was end times. Right? So all that was Jacob's trouble. So it says, and these, that's Deuteronomy, what's that? Jeremiah 30 now. So I'm going to ask y'all again, what was Jacob's trouble and who brought about Jacob's trouble? Come on, it's an easy answer.
They want to keep the law and statutes.
So what did that bring about?
Curses.
Curses. Curses is another word for what?
Judgment.
Trouble. But the nations got together and brought about a tribulation upon a people. And this people has been in Jacob's trouble all the way from the time that they have broken the covenant. Because, let's read this now and I'll let you see what I'm talking about. And these are the words that, am I helping y'all?
Yes.
And these are the words that the Most High concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus said the Most High, we have heard a voice of trembling and fear and not of peace. Ask ye now and see what a man doeth. Watch this. Watch this time. Think about what this reminds you of. This is talking about Jacob's trouble. A lot of people talking about future with this. Watch this. And ye now see what a man do travail with a child. So it's going to be such a time that it's going to look like a man is having birthday pains, that a man is having a baby. That's the type of trouble that's going to happen. What time in history that we can say that that happened? It seemed like a man, because what? He was losing everything. History, culture, getting beat, getting raped, getting his male member castrated, getting hung. All these type of crazy things was happening. It was like a man was getting ready to have a baby. That's the type of pain that was being experienced. If you can tell me a time in the earth that's going to be worse than that, some future going to be worse than that, I can't see that. Because what? That would mean that the Most High is not just. Right? Go ahead.
So it's almost like saying, because since it's the time that we turn around and he's accepting us, how can he utterly destroy us and save us at the same time?
Thank you. If we in the acceptable time, or the acceptable year of the Most High, according to Isaiah 61, how can he then, when we have did what the scriptures say, if you turn back to me in the land of your captivity with your whole heart, mind, and soul, and commit yourself back to me, then I'm going to do what? I'm going to remember the covenant that you made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and I'm going to have compassion on you in the lands of your captivity. Right. How you going to have a Jacob trouble after that?
So it's really contingent upon us.
Yes, because what we've been is now, we're still in somewhat of the trinklings of that tribulation, because we still were in the land of our captivity. So we still going to see some things, because everything that's happening now is to get us to wake up.
That's it.
That's why the Most High, he got to shake us. That's why he said, I'm going to judge you in measures, because what? I can't leave you alone, because you'll go back to doing what you was doing. So I have to allow these things to happen. These people that hate you, because you got to keep continuously wondering why all these things is happening. What is the reason of this? This can't be right. And what it's going to make you do? It's going to make you turn right back to him. Yes. And look at everything in the scriptures. You find out why this is happening and what caused it, and draw you back to him. Go ahead.
Because honestly, from what I could see, it wasn't a big, I mean, it probably was a big boom of us waking up, but until like Trayvon Martin, so everything really started happening in the news of us being, gunned down in the streets and stuff, you really see people start to wake up and post different things about scripture online.
Yeah.
And make, line up everything.
Yeah.
I can see it just shaking that voice.
Yeah, and he had to. And some of us, like I said, some of us then came and woke out the grave, and some of us then jumped out the grave right into another grave. Now they believing in Kemet, they throwing away the Bible, they believing in all this type of other stuff. Jumped out one grave, right into another grave. So he got to do some more shaking so I can show you all those gods ain't going to do nothing for you. See what I'm saying? Because as the tribulations and different things happening in Jacob's trouble, it's going to let you see that your gods, everything you believing in, ain't going to work. And what? You got to come over here so we can give you the answer. This is why this is happening. This is what caused it to happen. And this is how you get the return. We don't want got the answer. So, let's keep reading. As ye now and you whether a man which travail with trial, wherefore do I seek every man his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all their faces have turned to paleness, or their faces have become extremely frightened. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be what? He shall be saved out of it. You see what I'm saying? We're going to hit it quick. What is salvation to an Israelite?
Being in the land, serving the Most High, without fear.
You just went down with the scripture. That's exactly what it is. Now, it's the difference between being born again and having salvation of your soul, but then the actual salvation that's supposed to happen to a nation. We understand that. But your soul needs what? Saving. But your soul ain't got crazy. So that whole thing, all that in there got to be born again. You got to be born. When it talks about the spirit, it's meaning you got to be born from above. From the Most High. You got to think like him, act like him, talk like him, walk like him. And what more perfect example than what he left us with his son?
That's right.
Put us in right alignment with him. Show us the righteousness that he believes in and walk in it. Because you ain't just going to walk off in Jerusalem because you're an Israelite.
No.
Leave that now. You're behind to get purged.
Quick.
All right. All right, so let's read this real quick. This is showing you what salvation is. And we're going to run. We're going to get out of here. I ain't going to read all these scriptures. Y'all read the rest of it on your own time, those that are online. I'll call it out to you. All right, so this is Luke 1:66 through 77. This is the only one we're going to read. Blessed be the Most High of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people. He hath raised up a horn of salvation for us with the house of the servants of David. He hath spoke by the mouth of his holy prophets, which hath, since the world began, that we should be what? Saved from our enemies and from all the hand of them that hate us. So, we're supposed to be, salvation has been saved from your enemies. Why would salvation to an Israelite been saved from your enemies? And all those that hate you. Why?
Because they got together and started causing trouble.
Yeah. But that's another reason. That's a good reason. But Israel have been in what? Bondage. Consistently. So salvation to them has been saved from your enemies. All right? To perform the mercies promised to our fathers, to remember the holy covenant, the oath which he swore to our fathers Abraham, that he would grant unto us to be delivered out of the hand of our enemies, that we may serve him without what? Without fear.
Hallelujah.
Because right now, you know, even with Passover, you can't go everywhere saying happy Passover.
You cannot.
Right now, if you tell people you celebrate Passover, what's wrong with you?
I had one person say, what's that?
Yeah, oh, what's that?
Or what you're talking about, Easter was a couple weeks ago.
Exactly. Oh, we ain't got to do that no more.
We don't got that. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? We still in fear talking about our worship spirituality system. And during the times of the holidays, Christmas. Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right, so y'all read this on your own time online. Joshua 21:43 through 45. Another example of us having rest. Joshua 21:43 through 45. Also read 1 Kings 8 and 56. I'll give you another scripture that's talking about what salvation is to us. Read Jeremiah 33:21 through 26. We got it? All right, so let's hit this. What time is it?
2:37.
Okay, we ain't going too bad. All right, let me get y'all out of here. Give me about 15. All right, let's go to Romans 11 and verse 11. I want somebody to read that. I'm a great one. This is going to be a little different than you didn't heard it before. Romans 11. Make sure the hallelujah feed doing better. When you went off, we all right? Romans 11, verse 11. When you get it, read it. I'm going to show you something that I was talking about.
I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall?
What has who stumbled? Israel. Is it over for them? Keep going.
God forbid.
Ain't nobody tell you that the Israelites done away with that don't matter no more. That they didn't fail, they done messed up. Not according to what they say. God forbid. Keep going. But rather through their fall, salvation has come unto the Gentiles for to provoke them to jealousy. So salvation, watch this. Watch this. That's why you got to know which one it's talking about.
That's why it's important to know who the people are.
Yes, you got to know who the people are. And you got to know which type of salvation they're talking about, because we done gave this the born-again experience salvation right here. That ain't what it's talking about. Have it ever been a time that Israel had been jealous of somebody or of a stranger being able to be coming to their covenant?
Nope.
You can't find no scriptural example of Israel being jealous that a stranger is able to come into their covenant, especially when they're in right alignment. So that can't mean that their spiritual salvation provoked them to jealousy.
Not the spiritual.
Now I'm going to show you what we've been experiencing right here. Through what salvation in the natural means. Because salvation in the natural, we just read it. It means that having prosperity, welfare, having your estate, being in your land, and being able to govern by your rules. So now let's look at that. Salvation Strong's G4991, preservation, welfare, prosperity. And it's something. When you look at how easy some of the nations can just get a whole block and build it up and ball out. And we're trying to get one room. Provoking to jealousy. We got to march around the car lot saying, I claim this car. In the name of Jesus, I'm going to get this car. They own the car lot. Provoking you. Man, it seems like it's so easy to do whatever. Provoking you. Because think about all that Israel had, right? And then another nation come and take it. Now they're in servitude to that nation. And they looking at this nation ruling with their stuff. For doing what? Provoking them to what? Jealousy. And it's still going on to this day.
Yes.
Being provoked. You walk out here. Man, own this whole building. It's his. Just give him a piece of the pie. And own buildings. Doing what? Provoking you to what? Jealousy. Because what? This nation or these nations are in their welfare and their prosperity. And it's meant to provoke you to jealousy. To realize this can't be it right here. We had to have more than this. This is why some of us search our history to go see about what we had. Does that make sense? Yeah. I'm gonna show you in a minute. So we see that what that salvation meant. Let's look at Deuteronomy 32, and it's going to break that down. They provoked him, who is they did. The Israelites provoked the Most High. Deuteronomy 32 and 16, to back up what I'm saying. They provoked the Most High to jealousy with strange gods. And abominations provoked him to anger. They sacrificed to devils. Man, I don't know what the household fathers are thinking, man. That's crazy. and not unto the Most High, to gods whom they knew not, and gods who came up newly. Same thing going on. Every doggone week we got another wind of doctrine somebody walking in. Of the rock that begot them thou art not mindful, and have forgotten God, the God that formed thee. And when the Most High had abhorred them because of the provoking the sons and of his daughters, he said, I will hide my face from them, and I will see what their end shall be. For they are a forward generation, the children of whom has no faith. Watch this. Verse 21. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with vanity. And watch what I'm going to do. And I will move them to jealousy to those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a what? Foolish nation. I'm going to put some foolish people over you to provoke you, because you've been provoking me. I'm going to put the people that's over you that the dumbest, the most foolish people that they can be, going to be ruling over you. Provoking you to jealousy. Verse 12 in Romans 11 and 12. And we're going to get ready to end. It says, now if the fall of them be the riches of the world, we can spiritualize that. That ain't talking about spiritual stuff right there. It just shows you that the Gentiles were able to come into their salvation because we don't realize what all our forefathers had. But if the fall of them be the riches of the world, and the diminishing of them be the riches of the Gentiles, how much more they fullness? So every time, you got to look at the Most High. He set these people up. They had the best everything. Whatever you can think of, they had the best everything. But when they fall, all throughout the scripture, other nations came in and took them over and raided their land and raided their stuff. So this is why it says, if the fall of them makes the world rich, how much more when I bring them back into their fullness, they're going to get what the nations took for them and more. But they're going to have double for the confusion that they went through before Isaiah 60. This is why when you go to Isaiah 60, all the nations are bringing back all our stuff.
Hallelujah.
And placing it at our feet. We're sorry. They're bringing it back because what? Every time we failed, it diminished us and took the riches that we had in our nation. This is what Paul was talking about in this scripture. And you can read these scriptures on your own time. 2 Kings 24, 12 through 16, to just give you an example. I just read it. And Jehoiakim, the king of Judah, went out to the king of Babylon, and he and his mother and his servants and his princes and his officers and his king of Babylon took him the 8th year of his reign. And he carried out him from all the treasures out of the house of the Lord, and the treasures out of the king's house, and cut in pieces all the vessels of gold which Solomon the king of Israel had made in the temple of the Lord. And he carried away all Jerusalem, and all the princesses, all the mighty men of valor, even the 10,000 captives, and all the craftsmen and smiths, and none remained, save the poorest sort of the people of the land. When they came in, they took everything. And this is how the nations became rich. And what? Wealthy. That they passed down this wealth generationally. Y'all following me? So this is what Paul is talking about. Go ahead.
So is it right to assume that the wealth the nations currently have is has been dispersed and compounded based on our original wealth?
Yeah, because you remember that Solomon had the wealth that he had. It says that Bathsheba, not Bathsheba, what's her name? That went over there to Solomon. Queen of Sheba said it took her breath away. And when other nations came and visited him, he would bring their wealth and give it to her as tribute. So imagine all the stuff that he had as rulers over the world. The nations confederate together, Psalms 83, and pass that wealth amongst each other.
Got it.
See what I'm saying? To stay as what? The global of leaders to rule the nations overall.
And they know this.
And they know this. This is again why they have to have you. Wherever they're building a nation, they coming to get you. But they know, while you're in your captivity or consequences for disobedience, they can rule and reign and have your will without regard of the Most High. That's what he's punishing you. So they know they have what? A time period to rule. And this is why in most of these captivities, they teach you their ways. That's a point. Because by teaching you their ways, they keep you blind from the Most High and keep you in the consistent, recurring consequences of curses. Why? Because you're following after their traditions and not your own. This is why America was so smart. I'm going to take reading everything completely away from them. And now they're going to grow up thinking this is natural. They're going to grow up thinking this is right. This is the way we live. This is how we do. And not knowing that the reason that we've been at a bottom level because we have a covenant on us. And if we don't break away from their traditions, we keep the consequences of their covenant on our lineage. That's why you got to break away from that stuff. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, I'm done. I say read these rest of these scriptures on your own time. I'm gonna leave that up for the people online to be able to see. When you get a chance, read all the Deuteronomy 32. They give you a beautiful example that the Most High finna spank the nations. And he laughed at them because they thought it was within their own power that they did this. And Most High saying, I wish that the nation of Israel was wise and would understand this. That how can one chase 1,000 and two chase 10,000 unless what they rock had sold them, or they Elohim had given them up. This is the only reason that the nations have power over us. Was what? Our Most High gave us up because of our wickedness. But he let them know I'm coming. And all the technology you think you got ain't gonna be able to do nothing when I come. So when I come, I even open my mouth, your eyes gonna come out of your sockets. Your tongue gonna melt in your mouth and you gonna be disintegrate. I say the scriptures. They said that. They say you're gonna have so much blood left on his feet. It's going to be like he was in a wine press. So all that blood going to be on his garment. And he first said he's going to look and nobody was with him because he wanted to do this first for himself first. Then he's going to change Judah. Twinkle out eye say, come on, y'all get y'all recompense also. Y'all come fight with me. Now don't go fight before you get changed. Now sit you behind now. You're going to be dead. But you go read them scriptures there, how the Most High come and how he's sending his son. It's going to be ugly. Ain't no lamb. He coming busting head. Wow. Oh. Yeah. So we get them new bodies, bro. We gonna be like, we're coming for real. But read Isaiah 61, where it talks about the acceptable year of the Lord.
That's right.
And that we are in that time where we are turning back to him. That's why it's important to birth the ideas that's in your spirit, because it's accepted now.
Hallelujah.
Ah, get that? It's his desire to do that for you. Because what? The person that has been rejected now is being accepted. So I'm going to put my spirit behind everything. I put a desire in your heart to do. And watch it happen. You'll see stuff happen now that you put on the back burner for years. And now, because of the season that we in, it'll take off. So we in that time. Read Isaiah 60, and that'll show you that the wealth, all these nations, when they took our riches, but now they bringing it all back during that time. We ain't in the time where they bring it all back now. It's coming. But I just wanted to give y'all a breakdown of that, the time that we're living in. Go back and look at Josh's video about the cry of Israel, and this will go exactly along with it. This is something that we shouldn't be afraid about. I want to get a little our hand. For once in a lifetime, this ain't our whooping. We ain't got to worry about getting beat now, because this ain't our You know, I didn't got it. Anybody got any questions, anything, and concerns, anything they want to add? Was this, could you understand this?
Oh, yeah.
Was it clear?
Yeah.
I got one question.
Right.
Where is the wilderness?
You sitting in it.
That's something.
I've had trouble with trying to research it.
That's something that, as we get closer to it, the Most High gonna reveal. Some stuff will stay sealed because they don't want nobody trying to run and go over there and do stuff before time. So sometimes the Most High keep us from different times. You see what I'm saying? But he'll show you the signs that's supposed to happen to let you know it's getting closer to that time. So then that's why I think we're gonna enter into a realm of angelic visitations again. Don't be afraid of that.
It's already starting to happen?
Yeah. Because you gotta think about it, you know, especially with us over here. We can't listen to one person talking about, well, the Most High told me that all of Israel need to go over here. Now, we're gonna have to have something that we know is the Most High.
Like a sign.
Like a sign. So I believe he's going to be sending his angels, and what we already saying. And you notice the evil world are showing signs of what's going to happen, or what the Most High going to do. As they start doing more manifestations, you'll understand that the spiritual realm is getting closer. And the Most High, he's going to get ready to do something, because he always allowed the enemy to have first shot. You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things that are happening now that, you know, it's gonna freak some people out, you know, if they ain't aware. That's a bad word, freak, but it's gonna scare some people. So I really believe we're gonna see another realm of angelic beings that's gonna be telling us. Of course, the Holy Spirit will be leading and guiding us, but I think we're gonna have visitations. You say, I want you to go here today. Come on, go over here. Go do this. Come on, let's get up and move. You gotta get ready. You gotta go to another city. That's why it's important for us now to begin to fellowship and learn each other. Because you don't never know, we might have to go to your city. We might have to get out of Augusta. You see what I'm saying? We might have to go to Mississippi. We might have to go to Selma. We might have to go to Louisiana. So it's good to know people in those areas so we can always have a place to go just in case. You feel what I'm saying? Any other questions?
What does that mean, Brother Morrison, when the Most High says he's gonna, obviously, he that having...
Give on mic, give on mic.
You know how there's so many names
Mm-hmm.
that Ahaya, you
Mhm.
know, the
Mhm.
names of the Most
Make
High.
sure Sister Donnie put the mic up so they can hear
I'm
you.
sorry.
Yeah,
How they're,
make sure it's on. Yeah. There you go, it's on now. Okay.
okay, different names for the Most High, but in Revelation 2:17, I was going to ask the question, he that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the hidden manna, and will give him a white stone, and in the stone a new name written, which no man knoweth, saving he that receiveth. Right? So is that talking about? Is that talking about the Most High having a new name, or giving his people a new name?
I thought that was talking about, read that one more time. I thought it was something about giving people a new name. Because it said, well,
This
you got to
is
read
the
it. You
KG.
got to read it because it said to he that overcometh.
Yeah.
The Most High already overcame. He got none to overcome. So let's talk about the people that we're going to be giving a new name. And then you remember names ain't always in a Hebraic mind. It ain't always new letters. The name can represent a new authority, because we're going to get that. and also a new reputation. Because name also means reputation. You see what I'm saying? And that's why the Most High in Ezekiel said, you defame my name among the nations. That doesn't mean you defame my letters, but you defame my reputation. He said, that's why when I come, it ain't going to be about you, but I'm going to do this for my name's sake. You see what I'm saying? My reputation's sake. So my reputation won't go bad. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to give you a new authority and a new reputation that's going to build a new character in you. You see what I'm saying? So in the scriptures, we always look at stuff from an American mind, and we think letters. You see what I'm saying? Even when it talks about there's no other name under heaven which men might be saved, that can't mean letters. Let me show you why. You got so many languages that can't pronounce if you want to say Jesus. It ain't in their alphabet. So they ain't going to get no salvation. Some of them can't say Yeshua, Yahushua. Yes, sure. It ain't in their letter. That's why they had to do what? Transliterate. Because what? It's not in their letters to pronounce it, so it can't mean letters there. But when it talks about authority, there's no other authority in heaven where men may be saved. But the authority he has given to his son. Not letters there. So context lets you see what it's talking about. Does that make sense?
Can that be an example when we pray and say, the name of, the power of his authority, and his filling it with his name like that?
Yes, come out. Let me show you something. That's exactly. Now you get in trouble if you say this some places. But it's not in, like, turn around. It's not in, it's not in the letters, right? I can say letters all day. But when Messiah said, that's why he always was telling the Messiahs, the little Messiahs, the disciples, he was telling them to watch me and do as I do. The same authority that's been given to me, I give it to you. So now, when you do something, do it just as I did. In my same authority, because you have it, and my same method. So do this in my name. Just as you see me heal people. Because when I heal people, I didn't say in my self-name. Let me say that again. When I, Yeshua, or Yahushua, heal people, I didn't walk up to people and say, in my self-name, be healed. Did I? Okay, y'all read that? Everybody ain't saying it. I ain't say be healed in my self-name.
No, he didn't.
No. What he did, he said, what? Your faith has made you whole. He knows the authority he has in himself. Be ye healed. Did the disciples do it in his name? Yeah. The disciples did it in his reputation and his character because they wasn't just yelling out names, right? Because if you can do it just in the letters, the sons of Sceva would have been able to do the same thing. So that's why when you're in his name, and you're doing it in his name, now it's nothing wrong with you saying the name of Yeshua, saying the name of Yehoshua, but don't get caught up in letters. You understand what I'm saying? But get caught up in, that's why he said, when you take upon the Lord Messiah, when you take upon him, you take on his nature, you take on who he is. You see what I'm saying? And that's why you go to that. And that's why when you go into spirituality and worship system, you have to follow an actual method of what this God say do to worship. Say that again. Worship ain't just this. You see what I'm saying? But when you do what I say, when you conform into my image, that's worshiping me. When you become as I am. So this is why the God of the culture, it wasn't religion back then. Whatever the God of that culture said, I'm going to control everything in your life. I'm going to control how you dress, how you look, how you act, everything. I'm going to give you your holidays, I'm going to give you all these type of things. Because all these things let everybody know what God you connected to. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying when you pray, don't say Yehoshua. I'm not saying that. Or don't say Yeshua. But what I'm saying is, know that you have walked in the authority that he has given you, that is not in letters, but is in power of demonstration by example that he left. You see what I'm saying? I've seen some things move without me saying his name. I have. Especially recently. I said something according to the covenant, and boom, that thing moved. Didn't say a name. Go ahead.
So it's more about the spirit behind it.
It's more about the spirit that you're connected to, which is the spirit of the Most High that he gave in his son, that he put in your heart, that the demons that are afraid of, or the sicknesses are afraid of. Ain't got nothing to do with you, but it has everything to do with who you're in covenant with. That's why it's so important to understand covenant, because ain't nothing afraid of you. It's afraid of who you became one with.
Who you stand for.
Who you stand for, or who's standing for you.
Yeah, that's right.
Go ahead, brother.
I was just going to give a...
Mike.
I was just going to give a biblical example. When Peter and John healed a man at the gate of Beautiful.
That's good.
And they brought him before the council, right? And Peter and John was like, I can read it to you, but I'm paraphrasing. They'd be like, you had like, this man is healed by our authority.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's by the name or by the authority. Like you said, by the authority of how it's framed, Jesus Christ.
That's right.
But it's the authority, the person behind what's being said.
Exactly. Because when I come in covenant, I become one with that person. And I become just as that person. That's the same thing with my wife. When she took on me, that's another thing about covenant. When you take on a covenant with a person, you take on their name, right? So right now, I ain't got to be there, but my wife can go anywhere in my name and get anything she needs to get in my name, which has my authority.
Like you were saying about the other brothers, they was using the name, but it's wrong. They had the wrong spirit behind it.
They was using the name, but they weren't in covenant.
The spirit wasn't right.
It wasn't just their spirit wasn't right. They wasn't in covenant.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So it's not going to work if you ain't came into covenant with their God. The other entities ain't got to respect that. That's why, like we were saying when we were studying ancient Egyptian cultures, and that's why Africa is so full of people that have made a covenant. You see what I'm saying? And that's why when some of the English explorers would go through Africa, they couldn't just walk up through them villages. They had to cut covenant with these people in order to be able to walk through there, or they was going to get killed. Just study. And this is why when some of the explorers went through, they cut a covenant with a big nation. When nations came against them and they showed the sign of their covenant, that nation would back off. Because they said, this person is in covenant with a greater nation than us. So I can't fool with him, and he can come through my territory. I take that to the spiritual realm. We've been seated in what? Heavenly places. By our Messiah Yahushua, right? So that put us above all what? Principalities. This is why they have to submit to you. Especially, they submit to what you understand. I'm going to say that. Because the more you understand it, the more authority you have in it. And the less you struggle. When you understand that, I understand how this covenant works, what it means, and how I became one with it. Now I ain't got nothing to worry about, because I know it can't fool with me, because it know what I know now. And that's when I had that visitation with that demonic realm. It was shocked at what I knew. I don't want to scare you, but it was. I'm going to stop. But it was. The demonic realm is real. But it knows who you in covenant with. And this is why, even in those times, when we were saying the name of Jesus, it had to obey. Because it wasn't about the name, but it was he was in covenant with the man. And your life showed the covenant. So it had to submit to that. That's why I ain't tripping when somebody say Jesus. Long as their life submitted. Now, me myself, I'm going to say go to the red covenant. Now, but I don't trip with people. Because what? Their life is a line to the prerequisite of what Messiah said to walk in my authority. This is what you have to do. Eat my flesh, drink my blood. That was covenant talk. Take on my spirit. That is covenant talk. Let me stop. So all that, this is why they came forward with you. And then when that thing that's in you internalized outside of you, you'll be able to do some things in this nation that's going to shock this nation and shock the people that's trying to kill you. Tell you, it's going to be something unlocked in us that's waiting. We're going to get there. Faith by faith, glory to glory, level to level. All right, we're going to stop right there. We're going to stop there. It's getting late, y'all. We're getting late. Get ready to go. I'm glad that's all up because we need to clear some things out that some people just, separating based off, small stuff. Man, come on. We can work that stuff out. We'll talk about that. Bring people into stuff. You know what I'm saying? But anybody got any? I did that. Wow. Anybody got any questions or concerns? Before we pray. Oh, no, that's 309.
I got one question. Can you give us some tips on how to study? Like really study about your life?
Okay. I got an actual video on that. A video on that. I'll give you a quick breakdown. I got an actual video on that on the webpage. I think it's called A Quick Reference to Dividing the Word or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was. But this is a great way to study the Bible. First, it's good to read the whole Bible first. Just go, just read the whole thing from beginning to end. When I first started, I just read it, and then I went back and studied it. You see what I'm saying? So I get familiar with the story. I just wanted to read it and then come back. But once you study it, this is the 4 analysis that you have to do to make sure your conclusions are right. Number 1, you have to do a context analysis. And context means what is the subject matter of this book or the subject matter of the scripture. Sometimes I have to look before the scripture that I'm reading to see what the context is of the subject, or I have to read after that actual scripture. Or sometimes I have to go to the beginning of the book to see what the subject matter of what it's talking about, right? So I'm trying to understand this book and understand the scripture. So I start off number 1 with that. I'm doing a contextual analysis. I got to get the subject matter and find out what this is talking about. Then I don't stop there. The next thing I do is a word study. It ain't got to be in this type of order, but a word study. Sometimes when I look a word up in its original meaning, like the Hebrew, like we did today, or the Greek, I get a different understanding of what the author was saying. Because we still dealing with an English translation. And some stuff, some concepts get lost in the midst of transferring from Hebrew to English. So I have to do a word study analysis. So I'm looking the word up. There's different concordance you can go to. The blue letter Bible is a good one. What's some other one? Blue letter Bible is a good one. The little words up. Yeah, in the Strong's Bible Hub, good one online.
Brown Driver's Brig.
Brown Driver's Brig. Graduate to that one. The Strong's is decent, but Brown's is, to me, Brown's a little bit more concrete. Concordance-wise. Thayer. So these are different concordance you can get, but like you said, on your apps on your phone, what's that one app we got? My Sword.
Yes.
My Sword, it's good to get My Sword on your phone because you can actually look up the words while you read. You can just tap on it and it'll give you the Hebraic meaning. The Greek will be in the New Testament. So once you go in the New Testament, you can just click on it there. So context analysis, a word study analysis. One is extremely important is historical analysis. What is going on at the time? Study the culture. What would this mean? What would this scripture mean to the people that's hearing it? I'm not going to bring it to my day yet. I got to see what it would mean to them and their culture. And then I can try to understand it. And sometimes that'll just change completely. A lot of the stuff that the Messiah said, when you go back into its cultural context, you be like, wow, that makes so much more sense now. And the last thing that I try to do after that is a consistency analysis. See how consistent this thought is throughout the scripture, from Genesis to Revelation. But some people go all the way to just get to Colossians and make a doctrine out of something that the Bible is like, saying something completely different. Because what? They didn't see how consistent it was. Just take like genealogy when they say you don't strive in genealogies, right? They take that one scripture and tell you don't strive in genealogies, but the whole book about genealogy. The Bible, it starts off talking about this is the generations of the heavens and the earth. The genealogies of the heaven and the earth. Then you got book after book, which is saying he begat him, he begat him, and he begat him, and he begat him. And then you get to the New Testament, and what it starts off with? A genealogy. So you going to tell me one scripture talking about that? No. When I see that one scripture contradict the rest, then I have to study that scripture a little more to find out what it means. So when I did the study and the research, I found out that ain't have nothing to do with what the rest of the book was talking about. It was talking about the Greek culture that they was in. In Ephesus, they had so many Greek gods that those people would try to come up with the genealogies of the god. When this one was born, and when that one was born, and some of them would try to align their birth with this certain god to say that they came from there. And that's what Paul was saying. He said, man, don't get caught up in that because that's endless. You can't say our genealogy is endless because it starts with Jacob and it ends throughout the seed. You see what I'm saying? And then once you go to Romans 14, you'll see what I mean. Because when Paul and Barnabas, once they healed somebody in Ephesus, they said, well, you must be Mars and you must be Venus. Aligning their genealogy right up with what? Right up with those gods. So that ain't have nothing to do because the same Paul in Romans 11 said, I am an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. Paul, why are you bringing up your genealogy if we ain't supposed to strive in it? And then the book of Revelation 7, it talks about the genealogy of every tribe that's going to get sealed first in the other nations. You see what I'm saying? So consistency analysis to see how consistent this thought is from Genesis to Revelation. Historical analysis, I'm looking at the culture, I'm trying to see what it meant for that day, I'm trying to get the full understanding of what they're saying. Word study, I'm looking at the Hebrew and I'm looking at the Greek, and the last thing is context. I'm saying what's the subject matter. Those 4 things will help safeguard you to give you the right conclusions. I always try to run everything I'm studying, especially if it's a doctrine, through those 4 systems to see if I get a good conclusion. There's other stuff you can add, but that's a good foundation. Go ahead, brother.
I'll read one thing to him. What you
Go
said.
ahead. Go ahead.
It's out of Isaiah 20:8 and 9. It said, whom should he teach knowledge, and whom should he make to understand the doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept upon precept. Line upon line, line upon line, line upon line. Here a little and there a little. So you just got to study it. Got to study them precepts and laws. Take your time. Like you said, just one day at a time, just take it slow. Really study the law, the precept, the genealogy, really get some real understanding.
Exactly. But you're right. You're right. Isaiah 28 and 10 is a beautiful example of that. You ought to be able to see whatever this doctrine is, it ought to be here a little and there a little. And then the Bible explains itself. You ain't got to get no crazy definition. It'll show you what it means.
Precept is law, right?
Precept is law. So law builds upon law. But just take those things and do it like I said on that YouTube video, and I try to send that in the group so y'all can see it. And they can help you. And then, you got us, call us. We got you. We can help you. We ain't going to give you the answers. My teachers ain't give me all the answers. They're like, well, go look. We can help guide you, how to do it. All right. Well, sis, we appreciate you coming visiting us always from Selma, Alabama. We had such a great time to tell us who's going to be, in the city. And you got anything you want to say to us?
Thank you guys for the event last weekend, for opening up, the services to me today, and everything. This has been a very good experience. I learned a lot.
Awesome. Well, we're going to get ready to stand up and pray out, y'all. We went a little long today. I apologize. We'll try to be out here by 2:30. But let's just pray. Scott, you going to lead us out?
Heavenly Father, we thank you for your loving kindness, for your tender mercy every day. Heavenly Father, we come before you in the righteous, just, and holy name of your Son, Yeshua. And Father, we begin to pray as he commanded us to pray. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy righteous, just, and holy name. Father, let your kingdom come, let your will be done as it is in heaven, so let it be done on earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Please lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Father, we thank you for the opportunity to come together as an assembly and worship. Hear your word, learn your word, Lord, and learn how to walk upright. Father, we ask you to seize up the song today. Let them take root in our heart and bear fruit open in our bodies, our spirits, our souls, and our wills, as we attempt to do the right thing in your name. In Yeshua's righteous and holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Give somebody a hug. Yeah.
Shabbat shalom.
Wow.